Hello, I'm Kathy here, and I'm here to talk to you about the inner world. So, this is Inner World part either 3 or 4 about things about the inner world. 1. A year is 24 months. One half of the year, which is a year in our years, with mostly Christian holidays. There are more holidays than that, also inner world holidays, and then the other half of the year is Jewish holidays with also inner world holidays mixed in. The main languages in our inner world are Hebrew, English, and Karat, which is the language that we have in the inner world. We have multiple languages, but that's the main one. And a little fun fact, Zoe didn't know English and Hebrew before starting to front. So basically for a very long time she was just like only knowing Karat and like speaking only to other altars and not really fronting that much till she started like properly learning English and Hebrew. It wasn't very hard for her because she already kind of knew, but she didn't like she understood, but she didn't really know how to speak. And now she knows how to speak pretty good in both languages. I'm proud of her. Another fun fact is that Lyra's a detective and a student and an idol, which is actress, singer, all at the same time, mostly a singer and model. And she's amazing, but like that's a lot of things. I don't know how she lives. Her detective name is Detective Crow. Detective Crow. And her idol name is Kangel. She took it from Kangel from Nitty Streamer Overload. Because her idol costume really looks very similar to that, so she just decided to go with it. Also, no copyright law between two worlds, so yeah. In the inner world, we have literal research facilities about what's going on in the inner world. The inner world in the inner world has existed for a couple of thousands of years, and I'm really shocked with the development and how fast it developed, because it was pretty much developing like the human world, like learning stuff, tries and fails, learning how to make medicine and stuff like that, and all of that happened in those couple of thousands of years, of course with prior knowledge of this world for some altars, but it's still a very big achievement. Those are very big achievements for only a couple of thousands of years. Also learning how to balance a different world with different rules when it comes to science and life and societal things. One of the reasons we really had a hard time living in society in this world is because we're so used to the way we act in the inner world, the way we are supposed to talk politely and not politely in certain situations, and the way we're supposed to act in general is very different. We are very open, we like to explain ourselves and like work in certain ways and talk about certain things, and like I guess the demeanor and the way that we talk in general just doesn't appeal to this world, which is very strange to me because I feel like only certain people can get me, and people in our system in general. And in the inner world it's so easy to just talk with everybody like you're human and you're not just some alien in a human suit. Meat bag. Also, society in this world is so strange, like unnecessary evil. I don't know, even the villains in the inner world, which we do have many, are not purely evil to be evil, you know? I don't know how to explain it. Like, yes, they're still evil, but like it's not like cruel evil. It is cruel, just not to the point where it gets in this world. Like, people in our inner world are very civil, the NPCs and the altars. I tend to find that people in the inner world have a very good heart. even the ones that are not particularly nice. But you also need to know how to stand up for yourself, which is something that we do learn in our life there. There are fights and there are times where you just don't want to exist in this body together, and there are times where you're horrified. You've woken up in a hospital bed and you just realized that something horrible happened and you didn't even have a chance to say anything about it. I have a really bad experience with... Never mind, I was gonna get to a really personal topic, as much as I love talking about personal things, I'll keep that one to myself. Don't get used to it. Fronter groups change a lot. They're usually a group of fronters, and it changes with time, and people switch. People are not there anymore, and it switches with somebody else, and they decided to switch places because they just don't want to do this anymore, and they want to do this, and blah blah blah. It's not as easy as you think. Like you cannot switch front. You can just decide that you're not fronting anymore. You can, but it depends on who you are. Let's just say when it was like people like Annika, where there was a time she didn't want to front at all. It wasn't her choice. It just wasn't her choice. The body kept her in, and she was front stuck, and it was pretty horrible to see. Because there's nothing you hate more than being front stuck. Do not recommend, it's not fun. A lot of us deal with witchcraft and other stuff like shifting and more. In the future, we do plan on publishing a book about all of this science in the inner world. I don't know how much we'll post, but like the science in the inner world is very fascinating, and we do want to share that with the world. Living in a world with diseases like Hanahaki and glitch diseases and stuff like that, it's a very much an experience. There's also a disease called frostbite, which you slowly freeze to death. It's basically what happens to Anna from Anna and Elsa. Our brain picked that up when we were younger, and we loved Anna and Elsa. Shifting is generally easier for people in our system because our brain is very developed for things like this. Doesn't mean it's easy for everybody. Some of us have it harder, some of us have it easier, but like it's a little bit easier when your brain is more open to it. The strange thing is that the home planet's language is Karat, and the name of home planet is Karat. I don't know why, it's just like that. The inner world used to be like really problematic in the last few days. Not days, months, and then like now it's a little bit calming down. Not in a very good condition, but it's a lot better than earlier with altars fighting and stuff like that. We had a lot of big fights and a lot of like weird opinions, and it still exists, and we still have persecutors trying to do stuff they shouldn't. Again, no, there's no such thing as an evil altar. They just think it's what's best for us, and what is that it's what's gonna protect us. They are convinced that they're trying to do only good, and you know, at least they're trying to do good, and they're trying to make things better, even if it's not that way in practice. I personally have shifted before, but never group shifted, which is very interesting, and I would want to try that. But I'm still thinking about it because I do not want anybody to get involved with the stuff that I do. But in the same time, it really needs to happen. Like it would be such an amazing thing to like shift with friends and stuff like that. So I'm considering it. There is a whole family tree right now that I'm thinking about. Like we have Annika and Emmy. Annika adopted Zoe, and Emmy adopted Lily. And now they have a child of their own, which is Uno. And that's not counting their ancestry to Desmond. Desmond is an old altar. He's an old man. He doesn't look like an old man, but he definitely acts like one. He looks very young and youthful, but he's here from like for a couple of years. Like I do understand Amelia because she's one of the cores, and also Mary and S, but like he's old and he's a fusion altar, like an integration altar. I don't know, it just feels weird to have somebody so old. Which is weird to say old because he's not old. Living for a couple of years doesn't make you old. He's an old from our altars. He's an OG. And I absolutely love him. He got divorced multiple times. From his first husband, which was his first husband is Evan. He used to be 2 altars, clear quartz, and Evan. And Evan had a kid named Austin, sorry. Austin was a sweetie pie, and then he got married to this vampire man, and clear quartz stayed single till the day she fused. They fused together. He still kept Austin. After a while, they got divorced, him and the vampire. Then he met his new husband. I don't know his name. And they've been living happily. There are a lot of family trees, but like the ones that I'm not getting into are so freaking complicated that I'm not even gonna touch it yet. Maybe somebody else will make a video about it, but I'm not touching those family trees. Okay, bye. Have a good day.